Welcome back. In the last session, we have discussed about the methods and tools of employment creation through cooperatives, and there are different cooperative movements that helps in providing such facilities to the workforce. And we have begun with the agricultural cooperatives. Let us continue with that. Previously, we have mentioned that AMS and other regional units became the largest employers after the government. And agriculture marketing supply societies played a vital role in creating rural employment. For example, in Burundi, cooperatives organized the collection of milk that was processed by a parastatal, whereas in Zaire, farmers achieved remarkable specialization in the production of strawberries, which they sold their cooperatives in Kinshasa. And another example with regard to the facilities provided by AMS is that small scale cut flower growers in Kenya sell their produce to private exporters based in Nairobi. So, from this example, you can see that farmers and its products will be in some part of that country, and they will be disposing or distributing their products to the persons or ultimate consumers in the other part of the country. How they link these distances, or how they able to bring together that gap, exactly the AMS helps the farmers in building that gap. So AMS has been playing a vital role in the welfare of the farmers. AMS are the only wage employment providers in rural area. They usually employ both permanent as well as seasonal employees. Usually in agriculture, there will be permanent employed crops as well as seasonal employed crops. Some items may be seasonal, some may be full time, likewise. Thousands of cotton marketing groups are active in all cotton growing regions of West and Central Africa. And one of the important peculiarity of AMS is that they encourage spillover effect on local economy. By that term, you may find it confusing. The simple meaning is that, for example, during harvest season, hundreds of traders visit coffee or cotton growing regions in different parts of the Africa, and they in turn sell consumer goods to local households. So you can see that their main area of operation will be selling of coffee or cotton, whatever they are dealing with, but at the same time they will deal with other marketing of goods. So at the same time they will be dealing with activities that are not related to their work. That is known as spillover effect on the local economy. AMS cooperatives protect farmers' interests in a market economy. With the service of effective and voluntary rural organizations, the farmers can be saved from the exploitation of intermediaries. What the farmers need is a favorable legal and institutional environment and adequate technical support to go ahead with their work. Agriculture marketing and supply cooperatives create employment by joint use of public investment and also provides broad range of services. For example, with regard to a case study in Africa, Around 2 million acres on the bank of Nile has about 240 cooperatives with almost 140,000 farmers. Cultivating a large portion of reclaimed lands and utilizing remaining the perennial irrigation. And agriculture and marketing supply cooperatives helps in providing all those facilities to tame these land for better cultivation and to improve their agricultural production. Not only that, these cooperatives provide a broad range of services like input supply, crop marketing, land preparation, providing all sorts of technical assistance for cultivation as well as land development. The International Labour Organization's regional ACOPAM. The meaning of ACOPAM is Appui Associating Cooperating aux Militaires de Development à la Base. Actually, it is a term with regard to French, and it has gained considerable experience and expertise in different types of agricultural cooperatives that has considerable impact on self-employment. It is a self-employment scheme that was introduced as per the International Labour Organization, and it led to the promotion of 247 cooperative grain banks, which improved the food security of 86,000 households in 3 countries. 247 cooperative grain banks means points where agriculture grains are stored, providing food security to 86,000 households in 3 countries. It helps the farmers to maintain their farms and remain economically independent. And at the same time, ACOPAM introduced an innovative system of joint cotton marketing. In Burkina Faso, this gave rural villagers additional income which they utilize for community development. And right now 80% of the cotton grown in Sahel, it's a place in Africa, is marketed by cooperative groups. The geographical condition of Africa is very good for the agricultural purposes. The thing is that the farmers and persons associated with agriculture are good at producing, but they are not good at marketing and distribution. But these kinds of organizations such as AMS and ACOPAM services, they help in distributing their products through efficient channel. Self-help irrigation groups were initiated by ACOPAM in collaboration with European Development Fund in Mali, Mauritania and Senegal. All these actions helps in stimulating the local economy that are created by these irrigation groups. It also helps in improving the workforce and at the same time providing employment opportunity to majority of the villages. Another remarkable step by ACOPAM is natural resources management. With an example, you will get a clear picture. In the place named Burkina Faso, which we have mentioned earlier, there were more than 8,000 people were displaced due to a dam construction. In spite of high development potential of settlement area, the agriculture production was severely affected by ecological deterioration. In that time, ACOPAM helped the villagers to make out a plan for rational use of national resources and adopt ecologically friendly agriculture production and cattle raising methods. It ultimately helps in achieving great success. So that is known as natural resource management. Aquapan not only deals with providing employment and distribution or marketing of their products, it also helps in improving the natural resources and how a natural resource can be properly utilized. One of the main issues with regard to African country is that the country is abundant in resources, but the thing is that there is no person is efficient in effective utilization of this abundant resources. So in most of the cases these resources are misutilized. So organizations and schemes like this helps in improving the effective utilization of natural resources, and Aquapam has implemented a natural resource management which helps in the effective utilization of those resources. And finally, last but not the least, the cooperative did not create job by themselves, but they provide employment opportunities through joint efforts of members or associations. So that was the activities or facilities that are provided by ACOP as well as AMS with regard to agricultural cooperatives or agricultural sector. Next one, savings and credit cooperatives. Savings and credit cooperatives were very successful in Africa. They are a formalized rotating and saving credit association that were popular in Africa. This thing was first introduced in the early 1960s by missionaries or specialized agents. Later, they developed into powerful financial institutions that provide financial services to various cooperative societies, members, weaker section of the societies, and of those persons which are in need. Credit unions create little or no employment opportunity because the main motto of credit union is to provide financial assistance. Before beginning this area, we were discussing that we will discussing various cooperative unions that helps in improving the employment opportunities. Actually, in case of savings and credit cooperatives, they did not provide any sort of employment opportunities, but they did do one thing: they provide financial assistance to the necessary causes. That causes or programs will generate employment opportunity. So indirectly, savings and credit cooperatives has taken necessary measures to provide employment opportunities, unlike direct measures taken by other types of cooperative unions. Primary credit unions usually employ just one cashier, while managerial and supervisory functions are done by elected members. Credit union leagues employ only a limited number of qualified staff because its main purpose is providing financial assistance, not providing employment assistance. But credit unions have a potential to create employment indirectly by providing capital for productive purpose that was mentioned just now. The main activity of credit union is to provide loans, but they do not take any sort of guarantee for granting loans except the security given by the union members. They lend money even to people not qualified for bank loans. Many small businesses in rural areas and urban areas get financial assistance through credit unions. In many African countries, credit unions in rural areas generate excess liquidity, that means excess funds. That funds will be transferred to the central finance facility of National League because those National League will in turn use this amount to grant large investment loans. So the credit unions will think like that. If they invest these funds in these national leagues, their funds are safe rather than providing those funds as credit without any security to the other persons. So that was the concept. Many credit unions have developed special loan programs with preferential interest rate and repayment plans for productive investments. And finally, as we have mentioned earlier, credit unions do not focus on employment creation, but they do insist on productive use of loans they grant. This is to ensure prompt repayment, and they have financed around thousands of small and medium sized enterprises. And how this assistance was provided? Mainly, it provided by way of enabling low and irregular income sector to save in a financial institution, and these savings become accumulated capital for productive investment. Ultimately, that will provide employment opportunity. Secondly, granting loan on reasonable conditions and without much red tapeisms. And finally, building central finance schemes whose assets can be used for institutional lending and large investment loans. So that is all the aspects with regard to savings and credit cooperatives. We were discussing about various unions that provide employment opportunities. Unfortunately, credit unions mainly concentrated in providing loan, but indirectly they help in improving employment opportunities. So just go through all these areas. We will discuss about some of the other cooperative unions that helps in providing employment opportunities in the coming sessions. Until then, just go through these areas. If you have any queries, please let me know.